Welcome to the Single African Market Program, the continent's most trusted and the #1 media platform regarding this journey of Africa to integrate its market. And this week, let me acknowledge some very, very important offices that are regular patrons of this platform, and that includes the Office of the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda. We got a call appreciating what we've been doing on the Single African Market on this program from the Office of the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, particularly from the head of economics, the head of income and jobs there. We appreciate the entire team at the Office of the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda. Also in Botswana, the Honorable Minister for Trade and Industry. We appreciate you, sir, for the feedback that you always give us. Also the Office of the Honorable Minister in charge of investment, the former Minister in charge of Trade and Industry in the Republic of Gabon. We appreciate all the feedback, sir. Now, this week, we are going to take you all the way to the dynamic and the vibrant communications team of the AfCFTA Secretariat. Now, the AfCFTA Secretariat is repositioning itself, its brand, as a proper organ of the African Union, not just an office that is facilitating trading on the continent, but as an organ of the African Union. And the dynamic communications team are leading this brand repositioning of the AfCFTA Secretariat. They have already engaged the internal public, I'm talking about the staff of the AfCFTA Secretariat, to let them know what it is that they need to know when it comes to the position of the brand AfCFTA. I'm sure that you may have picked it from people. Even ministers of trade, even presidents struggle to say AfCFTA. Some say CFTA, some say CTFA. I mean, however they're trying to call it. It's a mouthful for some people. The Secretariat, the communications team, is going to break it down for you. Now, they are telling the public what the names are, where there should be a small letter, they bring it there. Where it should be all capital letters, they are making it all known to the entire African public. And they have begun with the internal public of the AfCFTA Secretariat. Let's go listen to what they mean. We'll come back and break it down. The AfCFTA Secretariat was instituted just about a year ago, but has established itself as a great force to reckon with among other similar international public organizations, particularly regarding the establishment of its brand identity as a corporate organization. Recently, the global social media giant Twitter verified the AfCFTA Secretariat's official Twitter handle as an indication of its recognition of the vibrant presence of the AfCFTA brand in communicating to the world through Twitter and other related professional media platforms. The AfCFTA Secretariat has taken its already highly admired branding prowess to a whole new level by commencing a process to reposition the Secretariat's brand to reflect its current position as an organ of the African Union. To this end, the AfCFTA Secretariat has first engaged its internal public to sensitize them on the repositioning of its brand as an organ of the African Union. Addressing the staff of the AfCFTA Secretariat at a gathering chaired by the Chief of Staff of the Secretariat, Silva Rujakol, the head of the Communications Department of the AfCFTA Secretariat, Grace Koza, emphasized that the great brand of the Secretariat symbolizes seriousness of its identity, which needs to be guarded at all times. The head of the AfCFTA Secretariat's Communications Department advised that it will be advisable for all partners to engage the Secretariat in order to be familiar with its brand position and adhere so as to protect the image of the Secretariat, the African Union, and the continent as a whole.
Literally just a conversation around who we are, where we want to position ourselves, and why it's important for us to have a clean look that we have.
So that was the communications outfit of the AfCFTA Secretariat, headed by Ms. Grace Koza there, as well as the Chief of Staff of the AfCFTA Secretariat, leading the team, sensitizing the internal public of the AfCFTA Secretariat regarding the repositioning of the brand of the AfCFTA Secretariat. Even Twitter has recognized the effort that's been put in there by the communications department of the AfCFTA Secretariat. Twitter has already given them a blue badge. They already verified by Twitter, showing you and indicating to you that the folks there are not sleeping. They are pushing all information out so that you can understand and know where they are going. But what exactly do they want the public to know? What exactly have they started sensitizing their folks about? I spoke with the head, the ever vibrant, the ever dynamic, one and only Ms. Grace Koza, about what they intend to do, what they intend to communicate to the public regarding the brand positioning of the AfCFTA. Listen. Ms. Grace, good to see you. Good to see you once again.
Thank you.
After the previous interview that we did, a lot of reviews and a lot of people are getting understanding of what the Secretariat does and what's coming. And it looks like there's a lot of enthusiasm from the continent. Is that what you also see?
I think the most exciting part, first and foremost, just to say thank you for the opportunities that you're creating for us as the Secretariat to talk about the work that we're doing. As I indicated the last time, it's an honor and a privilege really to be part of this wonderful organization that's doing such wonderful work for the continent and its citizenry. But I think what's important for us is not only are we getting the feedback out of excitement only, but feedback because people hold us accountable. Hold us accountable as a Secretariat. They want to see the work that they know we've been given the mandate to deliver, being delivered. There is a sense of being impatient, which is understandable, because we are seen as a game changer. If we're able to unpack and deliver on the mandate that's been given to us by the political leadership of this continent, a lot of lives would be changed and should be changed.
I noticed that there's a lot of branding stuff going on within the Secretariat, repositioning your brand or doing new stuff and all of that. Where are you taking us?
We're taking you guys to a place where the organization will now have what I call a complete corporate look.
I see.
It will now be, you know, from a look and feel of the brand and how we're positioning the brand. We will know when you see anything that's communicated from the Secretariat, you would know that this is a legitimate communication
coming from the Secretariat.
Coming from the Secretariat. So we are corporatizing the organization's look to make sure that people can clearly and make it easier for them to identify who we are. Because we've also realized that in the excitement and the enthusiasm of a lot of people, not only the continent but beyond, people started interpreting who we are from a branding point of view.
For you.
For us.
Even without your approval.
Even without our engagement or involvement. And I do say that, like I said, we know where it's coming from. It doesn't come from a bad place. But we're trying to help and re-educate both the internal stakeholders, meaning our colleagues within the organization, but only going forward to say to the public, this is who we are as a Secretariat, and we want you to embrace and, more importantly, to respect the new look of the Secretariat. Yeah, because
people are excited about you and they see your logos everywhere. They hear a lot about you. And sometimes, for instance, myself, there used to be times that I get confused because I see quite a number of logos on the internet and I wonder which one belongs to the Secretariat, for instance, or which one belongs to AfCFTA. So what have you done to your logos? What have you done to your branding? How do I identify that this is coming from, indeed, the AfCFTA Secretariat?
Let me introduce you to the new approved logo. It's not new as in it's just been designed. It's been part of our identity as a Secretariat. But what we've done, we've decided now internally that rather than having, we had two logos. We had one which was meant for the external stakeholders, meaning how we position ourselves, and then we had one which was meant for internal. So if you look here, we've got one that's clearly, you can see that is AfCFTA Secretariat.
Yeah. I used to see this a lot.
This is us.
Okay.
This is from a secretariat point of view. But we also had this one, which as one of our designers, in actual fact, a very young man who is a very good designer in the organization, said to us, this is more compact. Mm-hmm. It gives you a fuller picture of a corporate ID, identification of this organization. First, it's got an acronym that is AfCFTA. I've heard people calling us AfCFTA, CFTA. No, we are AfCFTA. That's the acronym of the organization. Then underneath the map of Africa, we've got our tagline, creating one African market. Not only do you see a whole logo, but you also see that it has been trademarked.
Yeah.
That means it's a legitimate official logo of this organization. We are getting rid of this one.
The one that comes with the Secretariat.
The one that comes with the Secretariat. Because it was literally meant to be the supporting logo or identity to this main one. First, because we really want to stop the confusion and the mis and the abuse of the two logos. Sometimes, even as we said, externally, you would see this logo, which was meant really to be partly emphasis of it for the internal stakeholders. So we're saying, let's get rid of this and now position ourselves with this main anchor logo that will be used both internally and externally. But as we said, it's holistic enough to give you everything about us. Our acronym, included in it, our tagline that goes with it. Whereas in this one, you didn't even have the acronym except for it being on the side linked to the Secretariat. Neither did you have the tagline that we now have. Now we've got both the acronym and the tagline that we need.
I'm going to get to the main logo, the full logo without this shortly, and help us to unpack what's embedded in there, you know, how you have come to that and all of that.
As we said, this was designed by the African Union on our behalf, even before we joined the Secretariat. And the process of getting these approved, you need the Ministers of Trade to endorse. You need the heads of states to also approve and endorse. So it was a long process. Yeah. It's not something that, you know, some designers, some young people, creative minds just decided to come up with. There is a lot of meaning, there is a lot of thinking that went behind this to come up with a logo like this. I think what we appreciate, first and foremost, it's got the future of the continent. We are here representing 55 member states.
Yeah, yeah.
Irrespective of the number of those who've rectified, it is the whole continent that we're representing. And it's important, and that's why it's important to have this logo, because it represents that map. It represents that constituency that we as an organization represent. Not only that, the creation as our tagline, the creating one African market, is what we're created for, to look towards in the future, that we are part of that building block to one day have one market that represent the whole continent. So all of these parts, all of the design, everything about this logo talks to really the core mandate and the definition of what this organization is all about. And that's why it's so important and critical for us to embrace it as it is. Don't change anything, don't move anything out of it, but take it as it is, because clearly our ministers and our heads of states applying to their minds to approve this logo. Good.
So now that we have this one out there, and I know that you're going to have a public launch of this pretty shortly, I want you to help me, because I've seen quite a number on the internet, help me identify some of those that are not the right one, coming from the AfCFTA. So I see this one, for instance, and if you can just...
Looks similar, huh?
Very similar.
Very similar to one that we've been approved.
If you can point out a few things why this is not your logo.
First and foremost, if you look at this logo, you would from a distance think that it is that logo.
Because the colors are...
But quick one, look at where the tagline sits. Right outside the fuller logo that we have been approved.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the full name of the organization, the African Continental Free Trade Area, is within the logo. And we don't have it anywhere written in full as it has been done in this logo. So quite clearly this is not. And secondly, you don't even see the trademark. So when you see that, then you know that it's definitely not an approved logo. Then we move to this one, quite similar also to the second logo, and that is the second logo that we have, and that's the logo that we're getting rid of. So this is a no-no. I know it's been out, we're saying to the public and our own colleagues internally, this is
no longer going to be.
As of August 2022, we'll be saying final goodbye during the month of July, because we don't want to make our own colleagues internally to feel as if it's an imposition that there has to be drastic, but we're fading all of this out in July to kickstart everything in August. Same goes to this one. You can clearly see, first, the acronym is wrong. We are not CFTA. I don't know. I've heard, as I said, people calling us, you know, giving us all manner of acronyms.
What are you? What's the acronym?
AfCFTA.
Good. So that's I should see an A, I should see a small f.
A small f, a capital C, another capital F, another capital T, and another capital A.
Good.
That's who we are.
So that makes this wrong.
That's not us.
And towards one African market is not what you are creating one market.
You know, people were being creative.
And
try to improvise. And we understand the spirit, but definitely that's not our logo. Same goes to this one. And you can see probably it's from another language, and people are trying to personalize it so that it resonates with who they are, make it more relatable. But it's definitely not our logo.
Good.
We're going to the same. You can even see the font outside, including the acronym as I indicated earlier. Definitely. And this is not the only, I mean, we picked up some. I'm quite certain some have different, you know.
Tens and hundreds of them on the internet.
All we're asking is that with this new positioning of the anchor brand or the corporate brand is to say, colleagues, please notice and note that the Secretariat has decided to position its brand through the approved brand as indicated earlier. And that's what we want you to appreciate and respect.
Good. When the public launches out there, we're definitely going to make sure that this is everywhere for the public to know. But even this, I think that it's an eye-opener for a lot of people, because it is also difficult for you when you see all these manner of logos on banners here and there, particularly people who even desire to partner with you. How should people who desire to partner with you begin to recognize some of these new branding positions that are happening?
In our external launch, what we will do, first we'll obviously communicate, we'll run a full campaign on our digital media platform to inform the public. But secondly, we'll use platforms like yours to communicate and also educate and inform the public. Thirdly, our own events as a Secretariat, where we find ourselves hosting, we will make sure that the public get to see the new face, the new logo, and the new way of positioning and communicating through our logos. Last point though, what we really are appealing for is that we are going to engage some of these stakeholders that we have found out through digital media or through one-on-one engagement or being invited to participate in some of this platform. We will engage them because as His Excellency said, this is not a punitive campaign.
No.
We're not here to punish people.
No.
We appreciate that there was excitement, and there's still excitement. And as I indicated, there is an expectation for this organization to succeed. And every member of the public wants to participate in one way or the other, through dialogues that they create in webinars, through conversations, formally and informally, but also actively being involved in the narrative around what this organization would need to do. So we appreciate that. So we will want to communicate with them and inform them that this is a new logo, this is a new identity. But secondly, we are now going to have a template on our website where those who want to use our logo, our approved logo, will then have to apply. Populate, give us information about the organization. Sam, what we're avoiding is people abusing these wonderful organizations.
That's good.
And starting to create an expectation that people need to, you know, pay for information that is freely available. We're an organ of the African Union. We're not created to make revenues by distributing information that's on behalf of the 55 member states. That's not what we created. The information that resides in this organization is meant to be freely communicated and meant to be available to each and every member of the public. And that's what we want to avoid. For people not to take advantage and start abusing who we are and what our role and the purpose of this organization is. And therefore, that's important for us to start engaging them. But also, as I indicated, allow them to apply. There will be, and there is a committee that's been approved by His Excellency that would look at the merit of each and every case and then make a judgment call to say, please go ahead, you can then use that logo. But it's important for colleagues and the public to appreciate and understand the protection of our identity is not only for our benefit as an organization, but for their benefit.
Yeah.
If they wake up one morning and they find out that we're all over and people are misusing and abusing it, the credibility of this organization that so much is expected of will be lost, even in their eyes.
Yeah.
You don't wake up one morning to find a WTO being WTO all over, because it also dilutes the value of that brand, and we don't want that to be done. We are Africans, we're proud of ourselves, we're proud of understanding that it's an honor and a privilege to represent this continent, and we'll do everything in our power to protect the identity.
Yeah, and good you reference the WTO. I'm interested in that because I want to know if there was a reason that you decided to move away from the Secretariat as part of the logo. Is there a reason for that?
It's important. If you look at the family of organizations that we belong to, the trade organizations, we also looked at how do we really feature, how do we compare, how are we being evaluated. Nobody goes and say the WTO office in the main. It is the World Trade Organization. That's how it's known. So we are AfCFTA. That's who we are, WTO. And that is so important because then the credibility of who we represent is known and is given, and people appreciate and understand that this is a whole organ of the African Union and representing our own aspirations.
Yeah, I think I'm getting that because essentially you are an organ, not
a function.
An office. Yes.
Yeah, not a,
so we don't have like
office.
NEPAD office or NEPAD Secretariat. No. It's like NEPAD.
That's the organization.
Good.
Corporate.
WTO, not WTO Secretariat or WTO office.
It's a full corporate look that could stand tall amongst other, brands or design corporate IDs of any other organization.
Means you've come of age.
We have come of age. But the good thing is we have evolved, and we're hoping that we're not just evolving alone.
Yeah.
We're evolving with the community. We're evolving with our continent. We're evolving with those who expect of us to do better and be better. Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. Yeah. We are doing better because we're looking at ourselves as an organization, and we're looking at our representation to be a better organization that proudly represent this continent.
I agree with you. And is there anything apart from the logo that has changed, though? Is there anything that...
The big one, as I indicated, it is that we're asking those who want to partner with us to clearly indicate and utilize the template that will be in the website so that we can then approve. Because we really don't want to wake up one morning with a lot of AfCFTA, being abused and it really would be very sad to wake up and find that. But secondly, which is a big change for us, is that as an organization, we're taking our role, especially the advocacy, the engagement with the public, quite clearly serious. We are using this campaign of repositioning our brand to also start our advocacy campaign. We are going to be deliberating engagement with the different stakeholders. We want the young people of this continent to feel extremely proud of knowing that they need to be part and parcel of those who sit in that table of power. Yeah. They need to also feature, their voices need to be heard, and we want to engage them because it is important for them to be there. Yeah. We want the women of this continent, who have been the backbone of trade in this continent, to sit in that powerful table and also be heard. We're going to be deliberate as an organization. So this gives us that opportunity as we engage and inform the public about the repositioning of the brand, that it is our responsibility, but as much as yours, to make sure that everybody participates and there's meaningfulness in our engagement. But here's the take home. the fulfillment of this mandate is not the responsibility only of the Secretariat.
Yeah.
Every member of the public, those who are able to trade, those who are able to unlock opportunities under this agreement, have a responsibility now to take advantage.
Yeah, and there's a particular notice I have taken of even your colors and your backdrops. You have this puzzle background. I don't know if I can get it on the screens right now, but you have this puzzle at the backdrop, and you can see that theme running through almost all your backdrops. I think the one here has that one a little bit.
Absolutely.
So you have it at the backdrop with that puzzle kind of thing. So you have a lot going that shows that this is you. So nobody can, demonstrate something that is not you.
But not only that, Sam. The puzzle itself comes from the puzzle of the map of the continent. We're connecting every region. We're connecting every country. Intertrade is all about that. The ability for every country from wherever, every business person from where to connect and trade. That's it. We want the African public to appreciate and understand that this is going to work. Not because Ghana and Nigeria are trading. They've been doing it
way back.
But if we can see countries from different regions being able to connect and trade amongst themselves.
SADC to ECOWAS,
SADC to
COMESA
ECOWAS.
to EAC.
If that's possible, and we know it is, because we are created to create the policy framework for that. But for those to unlock those who are in that space already trading, let them do it. That's exactly why we've got the puzzle, is to connect everybody else.
Awesome. So that was the ever dynamic, the one and only Ms. Grace Koza, breaking it all down, the focus, the direction that they are taking, the brand of the AfCFTA, so that the organ AfCFTA becomes, stands out just as all other international organizations and international bodies. So we'll continue to engage. Let's now go across the entire continent and bring you some news and events that are upcoming all around preparing the minds of the continent of Africa towards commercially meaningful trading as a continent. The Ghana chapter of the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, which is supported by the International Trade Center, has held a day's workshop to sensitize youth entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and other ecosystem actors to capitalize on the opportunities that have been created for young people under the AfCFTA. Addressing the youth entrepreneurs, Louis Afo, Executive Director of the AfCFTA Policy Network, applauded the implementers of the AfCFTA for including youth and women as a protocol to allow them take advantage of the agreement.
Africa has the youngest population in the world, with 70% of sub-Saharan Africans under the age of 30 years. It is also estimated by the World Bank that by the year 2050, Africa's youthful population will contribute to 26% of the world's labor force. It is therefore imperative and commendable for women and youth in trade protocol to have been added to the phase 2 negotiations of AfCFTA.
Dodi Seydou, an AfCFTA consultant, highlighted sections of the Continental Trading Agreement that provides opportunities for young people to the participants.
When it comes to young people, the AfCFTA offers numerous opportunities, especially in a number of sectors. We're talking about manufacturing as a major sector that provides opportunity for young people. It's estimated that by the World Bank that manufacturing in Africa would increase by 110% under AfCFTA. Now, that is opportunity for young people to be involved in value-added activities along the manufacturing chain.
This week, the Minister for Trade and Industry in Ghana, Honorable Alan Kwadwo Kyerematen, has launched the Business Resource Centers. The BRCs are one-stop enterprise support centers in the district designed to deliver a broad range of business development services to potential and existing entrepreneurs and enterprises at the International Conference Center. Now, the weather report, the forex rates for the African market, the flash schedules leaving the commercial and trade hub of the continent of Africa to all African cities coming up next. Also, the AfCFTA status for countries next. Well, so in the coming days and gradually up until August thereabout, when the public launch of the official logo and official brands of the AfCFTA will be made public to you gradually, all the old logos, old brand and materials that you know around the AfCFTA will be phased out, so that the formal and well-recognized one will be out there, so that nobody misuses or is deceived by the wrong ones. It is important that as we are creating this, we create everything along it, we tweak and get the best of it, so that the continent can have something that they can be proud of. It is in all of us our interest. Thank you for watching the program, and I hope to see you same time next week.
There's a African right and stand in the name of great Africa. It's a fight and conquer now. Forward ever. In the name of great Africa, there is victory. Forward ever. Backward. In the name of great Africa.